In a moment, the rabbi will perform the ancient ceremony of Kriya. Again, just as a last and gentle reminder, please be sure your phones are off. Rabbi Eitan Weiner Kaplow, besides being the rabbi, the friend of a family, will be officiating.
Good afternoon, everyone. We'll begin with the ceremony called Kriya, the ceremony for the tearing of the ribbons. And so I'll ask the immediate family if we could all rise and come together. In the days since we learned of Sheila's passing, our Jewish tradition recognizes, I can hold that, that's good. Our Jewish tradition recognizes that we were in a state of kind of like limbo. We knew the news, but we had to prepare. There were flights to catch, there were preparations to be made. We couldn't mourn, we couldn't grieve, there was too much to do. But our tradition recognizes that now that we're about to begin the funeral service, now is when you become mourners. Everything's been arranged. Everything is set. Now you can become mourners. And our tradition teaches that beyond all the words that we can possibly say, we need to actually do something to reflect the tear that we feel in our hearts, the tear that we feel in our souls and our family, and that is to actually tear a piece of cloth. There's a blessing that we say that is not about grief. It's not about loss. It's not about sadness. It's not about death at all. It's about acceptance in the reality of life, the reality of death, the miracle, the mystery, the acceptance of it all. We call God the judge of truth, the righteous one, because even if we still have questions and wonder, why? How did it happen so fast, so unexpected? Hopefully the source of life, the creative energy of the universe, hopefully God understands even if we don't. So I'm going to ask those who are wearing the ribbons and others if you'd like to join in repeating with me the traditional Jewish words and then the English translation. So in Hebrew, Baruch, Atah, Adonai, Eloheinu, Melech, HaOlam, Dayan, HaEmet. And in English, Holy One of Blessing. Holy One of Blessing. Your presence fills creation. Your presence fills creation. You are the righteous judge. You are the righteous judge. Now we tear the ribbons from the side. We tear about halfway through. We'll have to get started. We'll tear a little bit more. And listen to the sound. And know of the tear. These ribbons are assigned to you, to your family, to your community at the tear. In the traditional Jewish world, Orthodox world, many will wear these ribbons for as long as 7 days, Shiva, some even 30 days. In the liberal Jewish world, as long as you're sitting Shiva, receiving calls of condolence. My blessing to you, to your whole family, is that healing will come soon. May healing come soon. You may be seated, we'll begin. גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות לא ירא גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות לא ירא לא ירא כי אתה עמדי לא ירא כי אתה עמדי גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות לא אירא רע. גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות לא אירא רע כי אתה עמדי. Even though I walk through the valley of the darkest of shadows, I will fear no evil. For the eternal source of life and love, the eternal source of all existence, all creation, is with me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Dayan ha'emet. Holy One of blessing, your presence fills all creation, all existence. You are the judge of truth. Adonai natan, v'Adonai lakach, yehi shem Adonai mevorach. The Eternal One gives, the Eternal One takes away. May the name of the Eternal One be blessed. And so we have gathered here this day to say our farewell to Sheila Brand. 89 years of life, love, family, travel. Well, the pictures that we saw earlier say so much of it. We come together as a community of family and friends, as together we remember. And I ask everyone who is joining us here at the chapel and those who are joining us streaming online to join with Sheila's family, to join with children, Gary and Rachel, Arthur and Emmeline, Jamie, Kenneth, and with grandchildren, Brittany, Rory, Jordan, Gabrielle, Alexander, Benjamin, Sierra, Ryder, Haley, Naomi, Devin, and grandchildren, granddaughter Juliet, brother Erwin, sister-in-law Janice, a big family. Did I get everyone? Did I miss any? Big family, lots of names. We come together and we join as a community of family and friends, as together we remember. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai ro'i lo echzar, binoteh sheyarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yenaleini. These are the words in the Hebrew. They introduce the 23rd Psalm. And for those who received a pamphlet when you arrived here at the chapel today, you can find the 23rd Psalm on the inside panel. And I invite those who wish to join with in reading these ancient words. They still speak to us today. The Eternal One is my shepherd. I shall never be in need. God makes me to lie down in green pastures, leads me beside the still waters, restores my soul. You lead me in paths of righteousness for the sake of your name. Even when I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You have set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Eternal One forever. And there's a reading that comes to us from Israeli poetry, a piece by the Israeli poet Zelda Mishkovsky. I think it really speaks for Sheila. In Hebrew, it's called L'chol ish yesh shem. Each of us has a name. And it's read at virtually every memorial service in Israel, because it speaks about all the names that we acquire through life, all the attributes of our personality, our experience, the people we encounter, the people we travel life with. and how all along the way we keep acquiring new names. And Sheila certainly acquired lots of names. She did lots of things. She knew lots of people. And she had a fiery personality, let's put it that way, that would tell you at the moment exactly how she felt about you, about the situation. She was very clear about her feelings. Sometimes they were very warm and very loving and very beautiful and very kind, and sometimes they were very fiery and upsetting, but she was honest. She was just there. She let you know. She let you know. And yet underneath all of it, there was a beautiful love. There was a beautiful, beautiful love that she had for her family and her friends. And I counted myself as one of those because I met Sheila back in 1980 when I started dating Dawn Weiner and eventually...
Recording in progress.
That's good. When I met Dawn and became part of the Weiner family, and the Weiners and the Brands connected in so many ways over the decades. So let me read this piece called L'chol ish yesh shem. Each of us has a name. And as I read this, just think of the different names that Sheila acquired through life. L'chol ish yesh shem. Each of us has a name, given by God and given by our parents. Each of us has a name given by our stature and our smile and given by what we wear. Each of us has a name given by the mountains and given by our walls. Each of us has a name given by the stars and given by our neighbors. Each of us has a name given by our sins, given by our longings. Each of us has a name given by our enemies and given by those whom we love and who love us. Each of us has a name given by our celebrations and given by our work. Each of us has a name given by the seasons and given by our blindness. L'chol ish yesh shem. Each of us has a name given by the sea and given by our death. L'chol ish yesh shem. We are an ancient people, and we are well acquainted with grief and the valley of shadows. Death and sorrow are not strangers to us, yet the centuries have taught us that a good name endures forever. With Job, we say, Adonai Natan, God, you've given. You've given us a loved one who will not be forgotten. And for all that was good, for all that was enduring in Sheila's life, we offer the deepest thanks of our hearts. Adonai Lakach, God, you've taken away. And so we pray for strength to heal our broken hearts. And then we say, Yehi Shem Adonai Mevorach. Blessed be the name of God now and forever. Blessed be the source of life. Blessed be the source of the universe and all creation. Blessed be the source of consciousness, awareness, the source of relationships. Blessed be the source of this miraculous mystery that we live on this planet Earth, that we travel through life with family and friends, that we can have conversations and even have this ceremony together. Blessed be the source of all of it, now and forever. So I mentioned that I met Sheila back in the 80s, and I remember so clearly the parties at the Weiner house when Ray and Sheila would come by, and the celebrations there. One of them in particular was a New Year's Eve party that got very exciting. I remember Ray singing some Yiddish songs and Sheila just laughing at whatever he was coming up with. I remember her laughing at his jokes because we were laughing at his jokes. And to this day, Dawn and I just have to say the punchline and we crack up just hearing Ray's jokes and watching Sheila kind of give him a little pat to tell him to stop already. Absolutely. I certainly remember the times when I'd visit Sheila and have tea at her kitchen table, walk through her living room and see all the tchotchkes. Oh, was she a collector of really interesting, sparkly things? I just cherish the conversations that we had over the years, and knowing the family through her and Ray. There are so many stories to share, and so at this time I want to call on family to speak. First I'll be calling on Jordan, then Emmeline, and then Art. Okay, I got 1, 2, and 3. All yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan. I am one of Grandma Sheila's grandkids, and I'm honored to be up here to share a little bit about what Grandma meant to us. I have memories of Grandma Sheila going back many years. One of my earliest memories is of Grandma's bedtime stories. She would come up with the most interesting, fantastical worlds for us in her stories that made us not at all ready for bed. But she was always willing to tell a little bit more, keep going, or promise to continue the next night. Another memory I have is when we would visit her and how Grandma would always spoil us like crazy. We would go to Dairy Queen or eat from their at-home candy store every night. She made the most delicious kugel, and we would play hours of card games and gin rummy and all those. We even once got to set off firecrackers on the 4th of July in their backyard. She always just loved having her family together and having everyone be happy. In all my memories of Grandma, she is smiling and giving us a really big hug. She would always tell us how much she loved us, how much she loved spending time with us, and she would show it in her every action. And she always told us that the most important thing, regardless of what's happening in the world, is what's in your heart. And that's what I'll remember most. Thank you.
First, on behalf of the Sheila Brand families, we wanted to share our deepest gratitude for joining us to honor my beautiful mother and my loving friend, Sheila Brand. It's been a privilege to have Sheila in my life for over 23 years. Over the course of that time, she has served as my confidant, an inspiration, a healer, a mother, a deep source of wisdom, strength, and unconditional love. I witnessed a woman experience hardship and loss of those she held most dear in her life. I experienced the fierce loyalty and commitment to her close family and friends. And as someone who found my true soulmate in art, I reveled in the beauty of Mom discovering her forever love in Ray. I feel deeply fortunate to have journeyed with Mom during some of her happiest moments when she was at her true best. Some of these memories include, I apologize if they're somewhat duplicative to my amazing son's memories, are listening to her creative bedtime stories as our children hung on to every last word. Seeing her beautiful eyes light up and sparkle when she looked at Ray, or when she returned from a trip to the opera or play with Kenny and Ray. Smelling the delicious smell from the kitchen, which emanated Mom's famous kugel, which is a Hallmark favorite to this day, for her grandchildren, and maybe for Art. Experiencing the awe of Mom as a healer, as Crone's spirit, which many of you might remember, where she cared for so many and shared her energy and her light with others lovingly and freely. Sitting in a comfy spot on the couch, sipping a glass of wine, or let's be clear, probably some iced vodka, together as we shared stories, or at times as I shared some of my own hardships. It never mattered how chaotic things were around us. She always made time to sit and listen intently. And in fact, I think all of you know how special it is to truly be seen and heard by Sheila. Mom was a treasured friend who valued everything from the simple interactions to the more meaningful exchanges. Each of you have been such an important part of her journey. I speak on behalf of Sheila to express her deepest gratitude for bringing so much love and joy into her days, laughter and adventure, for your care and friendship, and for being such a core part of her foundation. I'd like to take a moment to thank Lisa and Stephanie for loving Mom like their own, for bringing such comfort, joy, and enduring love. Sheila went from quote spirit healer to recipient, and Stephanie and Lisa, you were definitely part of healing and are giving her light during the most difficult moments. You were her angels. And to Kenny, my brother, words cannot capture our deepest gratitude for your unconditional love and the support that you and Teresa showed Mom during the most difficult times of her life. You took Ray's love and you continued it in a way that we couldn't even imagine. Even when she was no longer able to be the best version of herself, and she mourned the loss of both your dad and her own quality of life, you were there for her and you held her hand. Thank you for being her family through some of the most harrowing times, but certainly every step of the way, and especially her last final moments. Thank you for being there and making sure she wasn't alone. Thank you for holding her, and thank you to Teresa for holding her. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And to my mom, I really miss you. Thank you for wholly accepting me as your daughter, for showing me your unconditional love, compassion, for your life stories, for our laughter, and for our beautiful friendship. While this is so hard, I do have comfort knowing that you're now back to being the very best version of yourself, surrounded by light and joy, able to heal others once more, and finally reunited with your true love. You will always live in my heart, and I love you forever and always.
Hi. My mom grew up with very little. She was raised in a poor working class family, sharing a bedroom with her grandmother. She told me many school mornings she'd wake up and look on the dresser to see if there was money for her to take the bus to school. My mom grew up with a deep, instinctive capacity to care for others. She met my dad when she was just 16, when his soul was in pain from having losing both of his parents. They married when she was 18, had my brother Gary at 20, me at 23, and my sister at 26. She carried the responsibility of motherhood very early in life, and she brought great joy to my profoundly cerebral father. Growing up, my memories centered on my mom's family. Her parents lived in the building, which is me a second. It's a 3-flat in West Rogers Park, occupied by my grandmother and grandfather on the top floor, her sisters on the other 2 floors, and on the bottom floor, her sister and my grandfather's brother, so sisters married brothers. And so for us, I spent endless Sabbath nights running up and down the stairs, visiting, I'm sorry, visiting everyone, playing kickball on nights filled with fireflies, lighting Sabbath lights, and eating Jewish food. Over time, my mom developed her spiritual side. She learned ways to help others and even built a small practice using visualization and mindfulness. She was a medium, and she channeled spirits to heal others. She loved that work. It gave her purpose, and it reflected who she was at her very best. And she had an immense impact on other people's lives in the process. My parents eventually split and divorced. My mom met Ray, and in Ray, she found her soulmate. They were best friends and spent nearly every moment together. With Ray, she found love and companionship in a manner that became her essence. They shared so many passions, including opera and travel. I encouraged my mom to travel, even though she thought she couldn't afford it. And we had so much fun in Thailand together when we traveled. And the first time Em and I traveled with our kids, we had our mom and Ray join us in Cabo. And with Ray came Kenny. Kenny, Ray, and my mom spent years and years together, running the business, enjoying long days on the bateau, the boat harbored in the Montrose Harbor. And especially after Ray's passing, Kenny became a pillar in my mom's life. He cared for her with a devotion that went far beyond obligation. No one took more care of my mom than Ken. He was there to the very end, literally. And that love, loyalty, and hard work is something I will always honor. It's impossible to talk fully about my mom without acknowledging her difficulty in facing adverse situations. All of us struggle with the tension between doing what's right and doing what we think is best for ourselves. I certainly struggle with that. For my mom, it was her Achilles heel. On the one side, she was one of the most caring people I've ever known. She spent years, even decades, caring for people who were terminally ill. She gave her heart, her time, often her own well-being to take care of others. It was who she was at her core. And yet there were other times where she avoided confronting complex, disturbing situations, and as a result, she caused pain, deep pain. She was not perfect. None of us are. She was human, deeply loving, deeply flawed, and deeply shaped by her own sense of survival. My mom lived her life the best she could. Today is not about revisiting that hurt, but about holding the whole truth with compassion. May we honor her better self, and may we all find peace in her passing. After Ray's death, my mom's health declined significantly, especially after her fall down the stairs and her cancer diagnosis. Breathing was never comfortable for her again, and life became a daily struggle. Recently, my mom went into the hospital with an initially misdiagnosed infection, and 2 later returned home very weak. The doctor said she likely had months to live, and she chose hospice to live more comfortably to the end. She knew Em and I planned to be here just yesterday to celebrate the end of this year and the beginning of the new one. But she passed the day before on Sunday, before that could happen. What I know now is that she is no longer suffering and surrounded by her loved ones who passed before us. I love my mom. I love my mom the best I could. Our relationship, like most, was complicated, but always rooted in love. I showed up for her in life the best ways I know, even when she wanted more. Her life was not simple. Sorry, but it was meaningful. She knew hardship. She knew love. She gave much of herself to others. Mom, thank you for bringing me into this world. Thank you for teaching me love and loving me so deeply. I love you deeply too, Mom. May you pass in peace and join those you've missed dearly and who you brought much joy and happiness. And while my visits to you were never enough, please rejoice from above in the perfect gift I brought you from where I devoted my time. Your amazing grandchildren who showed up here in force today to honor you, Mom, and carry forward your legacy of love and caring. Thank you.
Thank you. So these are the things that Sheila loved in life. She loved Ray. She loved her children and grandchildren. She loved travel. She loved music, the opera, plays, went many, many times. She loved the boat, le bateau. She loved deep dish pizza at Gulliver's. She loved Swedish pancakes at Walker Brothers. She loved iced vodka and red wine. She loved telling stories. She really loved lionfish. Lionfish. She loved playing gin rummy. She loved making kogel, doing tai chi. She loved the Chicago Bears and all of her crystals. And then I asked you to tell me the words that describe her life, describe her legacy. And you said spiritual. She had the capacity to help others and heal people spiritually. She was complicated. She was sweet. She had kindness and lovingness. She was also difficult at times, kind of fiery tempered and harsh at times, and yet fiercely loyal and loving, with a deep compassion for love, for family and friends. And when talking to Sheila, when talking with Sheila, you always had her undivided attention. You were the only person in the world then. And that was a special gift that she gave to each one. In truth. We will miss you, Sheila, and you will always be with us. May your memory be for a blessing, and may you rest in peace. I would often have the guitar at the Weiner house, and Sheila was there, playing songs here and there. So let me offer this. Let me offer this for Sheila. Take off the picks. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why? Tell me, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Zichrona livracha. May your memory always be for a blessing. Each of us has our own memories, our own thoughts, our own recollections. And so I ask that we pause for a few moments of silent memorial for each of us to remember Sheila in our own personal and very unique ways. Let's pause for a moment. At this time, we continue with the chanting of El Malei Rachamim. This is the blessing which asks that Sheila's legacy live on, that her memory live on. And indeed it will through us, family and friends, those present here, those watching online. Her community, those with whom she traveled through life. We hold her memory. In a moment, I'll be asking our congregation, our community to rise. I quickly add that for those present for whom standing is difficult, of course, remain seated while the rest of us stand. Please rise for El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein B'Maromim, המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה. עם קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מסעירים את נשמת שפרינצה בת שמואל וברתה שהלכה לעולמה. בעל הרחמים יסתיריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים ויצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה ותנוח בשלום על משכבה ונאמר אמן. May our hearts be open to compassion and our eyes to wisdom, that we might glimpse in perfect peace and sadness the way of all things. May the memory of Sheila Brand, who is known in Jewish tradition as Shprinza bat Shmuel Bertha, be for us a blessing. And may we never let the light of her love grow dim in our hearts. May we remember all her worthy and righteous deeds, that her memory be forever bound up in the bond of life. The Eternal One is our source and our destination, our beginning and our end. And so may the death of Sheila Brand, the daughter of Samuel and Bertha, awaken us to this truth, that the bond of love we shared will not be severed in sorrow. May she rest in peace. And we all say, Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the interment service will continue at West Lawn Cemetery located at 7801 West Montrose. The family will be returning to the Brand residence at 1811 South Boulevard in Evanston. They'll be together today from 3:30 to 8 and Wednesday from 2 to 5 p.m. Memorial contributions to your favorite charity would be appreciated. For those of you who will be driving to West Lawn, the procession will be forming in the parking lot. Please obtain an orange safety funeral sticker to place on the right-hand side of your windshield. Have your bright lights and hazard lights on at all times. For additional measures of safety, we will be providing a car in the back of the procession to hopefully keep other cars from entering the procession. Please use your horn liberally as you're going through the intersections. And please do not speak or text on your cellular phone while driving to a cemetery. At this time, I invite everyone to please rise and stand in place as the family comes forward. We're serving as pallbearers as we escort Sheila to the hearse. Then everyone may return to your cars. Please rise.